Hey folks, my name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent to these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office can prove the charges against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release today, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already. Pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit of the warrant which led to your arrest, I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know and make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regards to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, it will be used against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, none but the truth. Outstanding. When I call your name, please step forward to the podium. Jail, you want to do the juvenile first or last, or do you have care?
We can do it first.
Okay, let's do that first. Hey, who do you have? I'm sorry.
Martin.
All right. Yep. All right. So, Michael Silver. Michael, what's your date of birth?
Yes, sir. January 5th, 2003.
Michael, we have a warrant for you out of Citrus County. You've been charged as an adult with 2 counts, burglary of a dwelling and false imprisonment. The judge in Citrus County that signed the warrant set your bonds at $15,000 and $5,000 respectively. That's a total of $20,000. If you can post those bonds, you can get out of jail here and go up to Citrus and find out when they want you in court. If you can't get out, we're going to give Citrus 5 days to come get you. Never takes 5 with Citrus, but if for some strange reason you were still here in 5, they'd bring you back to see me, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Margaret Martin. Afternoon, Margaret. What's your date of birth?
June 7th, 1944.
You are here on a violation of probation warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Mr. Heisler?
Afternoon, Judge. Peyton Heislip here on behalf of Ms. Martin. I represented her on the underlying case, which was a DUI where she hit a motorcycle when she was rushing to the hospital.
I remember that case.
Anyway, she's recently put on probation. She's been having some issues, according to her daughter, with a cold and taking lots of Benadryl. I provided documentation to the state. I'll provide you with this. The Benadryl, as you can see, is diphenhydramine.
Right.
And if you look on the other document, there's a table on the second page which shows under the opioid/methadone over-the-counter cold products that test positive diphenhydramine. And she's charged with testing positive for codeine and something else. They're opiates.
Okay.
So I would request that you...
Codeine or morphine.
They're both opiates. So I would request, based upon her age, the fact she's on probation, she has no criminal history besides this DUI, that you exercise your discretion that you do have under law on any warrant and set her a reasonable bond.
Okay.
If you want to set her for court the 20th, that's his next BOP day.
Okay. 20th of February?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to do both. Did she lose her husband? Did he die? Or?
Years ago.
Yeah, okay.
She lives with her daughter. He's 50 some odd years old, if my memory serves me right.
You're getting older too.
Yeah, my memory fades.
Okay. I'm going to find that this case is unusual enough that I'm comfortable setting a bond. I'm going to set a bond for Ms. Martin of $500. I'm also going to move the case to the 20th of February for Judge Merritt, and we'll go from there.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Yep.
And Ms. Martin, when you bond out, then you need to go to probation to let them know you are out. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. And then Charles Murray.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Please report Robert Morris on behalf of Mr. Charles Murray. Mr. Murray is here before the court pursuant to a warrant executed by the Honorable Donald Scaglio for violation of an injunction. It was set at a no bond, which I believe the court is aware of my position regarding that. This is not a domestic case in nature. It is a neighborhood dispute. As such, we respectfully request the court either ROR him or set him a diminuous bond.
All right. And Dave, any significant history?
He doesn't have any significant history, Judge. I do see some out-of-state history where he got a conviction for insurance fraud back in 2000, public lewdness back in 1975, and public indecency in 1976.
So,
I don't think
So, Mr. Murray, I'm going to set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Miss Naraleski. There's already the injunction in place, of course, and we'll have you back in court on the 6th of March.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business for the court. May I be excused?
Yes, you may.
Have a good day, sir.
You too.
Mr. Murray, don't say another thing that we'll get arrangements to get you out.
Okay. Brittany Diggett. Afternoon, Brittany. Date of birth?
11/24/87.
Brittany, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. The bond on that warrant is no bond. Brittany, I can't change that. I'll have you back in court in front of Judge Toner on the 11th of March. PD will come see you before then, okay? Alicia Lyons. Afternoon, Alicia. Date of birth?
6/5/83.
All right, Alicia, the first thing I have is 3 new charges. I have possession of controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'm public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what he got.
Showing a withhold of adjudication on a driving license suspended in 2018 out of Pasco. She was adjudicated for controlled substance, multiple counts, possession of cocaine, introduction of contraband to a detention facility, and cannabis not more than 20 grams, 2019 out of Pasco. Adjudication driving in 2014 out of Hernando. Adjudication driving license suspended 2014 out of Hernando, and PTI for paraphernalia 2000 out of Hernando, and she's showing as a single source offender.
Okay, Alicia, looks like the address I have is on Davenport Lane in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
No.
Where do you live now?
1263 Malone Avenue.
Malone. Okay, how long have you been on Malone?
Since I got out of jail.
Okay, when was that?
Last April.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No.
How long has it been since you worked?
Just a couple months.
Okay. On the controlled substance, I'm going to set the bond at $2,000, $1,000 on the 2 misdemeanors. That's a total on those charges of $4,000. And then at the jail, it looks like Alicia's got a hold for a VOP out of Pasco. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we also have this child support thing. I'm going to get to that in a second, Alicia. So if you post the bonds, I think what will happen, if you post the bonds on these new local charges, then they're just going to serve that Pasco VOP, and of course that'll be no bond, and then you'd be off to Pasco. If you don't post the bonds on these, then you'll stay where you're at until we can resolve your local charges, and then you go to Pasco. The local charges are coming back March 11th. The other thing I had for you, Alicia, is a writ of bodily attachment. Means a child support hearing officer and a circuit judge determine that you owe some child support. Given your current situation with the criminal charges, I'm just going to find you not in contempt on the child support, and we'll ROR you on that. Obviously, you have all these criminal issues to take care of. When you start getting those things put to bed, you will want to go see the folks at Child Support Enforcement and figure out what to do about this, because eventually they'll start this process over again. You'll get arrested again, all right?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Ladies, no talking.
Christina Parker.
Good morning, sir.
Afternoon, Christina. What's your date of birth?
12/31/74.
Christina, you're here on 2 warrants. They were both signed by Judge Toner. They're both failed to appear warrants. He thinks you weren't in court on Monday.
Sir, I called all day Monday when I was broke down. I called the clerk of court. I called my bondsman. I called the public defender's office. And I went and turned myself in Tuesday morning with my bondsman to the courthouse.
Okay.
I have a 6-year-old.
Okay. So, Christina, I get that. I mean, you weren't there though, and that's why
I broke
Judge.
down. My vehicle broke down. I had my 6-year-old with me, or I would have walked.
Okay. I'm going to try to explain it to you, and I need you to not start talking when I'm talking. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I understand what you're saying. However, when you weren't in court, whether you called or not, Judge Toner issued these warrants. That's what happens, because they didn't know where you were or when you might show up. This is how they get you back on the docket. Okay? So this is going to get you back on the docket. Unfortunately for you, he set your bonds at $4,000 in each count. I can't change that. These are his warrants. So all I'm here to do today is tell you that those are the warrants. I'm going to move you up to the 26th of February on these 2 cases. I assume you had the public defender?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to continue the appointment of the public defender. The bond is $4,000 in each case. It's a total of $8,000. I can't change those. I did change your date in both cases to February 26th. If you don't get out, the PD is going to come see you before that. If you do get out, you should go see him, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Lydia Thompson? Thompson, what's your date of birth?
5/16/88.
Thompson, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
Appoint the public defender, state.
Not showing any in-state history, out-of-state. I'm showing an action from 2000 for grand larceny, but I'm not showing a disposition. And then I'm showing an adjudication for petty theft in 2009. That's all I'm showing, Judge.
Okay.
And the victim is present and wanted to address the court.
Oh, all right. Mr. Thompson, come on up. Raise your hand for me, sir. Solemnly swear affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
State your name.
Harold Thompson.
All right, Mr. Thompson, what do you want to tell me?
I just prefer to give peaceful contact.
Okay. You ready to come home?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you guys, Lydia, you live on Alpine Thistle Drive, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here's what I'll do. Lydia, I'm going to set your bond at $10. Condition of the bond is that you have peaceful contact with Harold. It's always a crime to touch him any way he does not want to be touched. It now would be a violation of your condition of pretrial release if you so much as raise your voice. Any contact you have with him must be able to be described as peaceful contact. Do you understand that, Lydia?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so, Harold, what it means for you is, of course, you get to have contact. You can go get her right now if you want for the $10. But if anything should happen between now and when she goes back to court and you feel concerned or want to call 911, you can still do that. That doesn't change a thing, all right? All right. Lydia, I'll have you back in court on March 6th. After you get out, very important that you contact the public defender's office, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Thank you, Harold. Thank you. Barry Bracker. Afternoon, Barry. What's your date of birth?
4/14/1986.
Barry, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner. Apparently you failed to appear in his court also on Monday on 4 charges: possession of controlled substance, petty theft, paraphernalia, and possession of medicinal drug. Did you have the public defender, Barry?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you have the public defender on these cases?
Yes, I do.
Continue the appointment of the public defender. Judge Toner set your bonds at $10,000, $1,000, $1,000, and $500 respectively for a total of $12,500. I can't change that. We'll have you back in front of him on March 11th. If you bond out, Barry, contact the PD right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail, all right?
Go sit over that side, get some more.
Amon McGriff. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
11/7/96, sir.
All right. I'm going to have 2 charges today, 2 counts of ag assault on an emergency medical provider. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like a public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
So an adjudication for felony battery from June 20th, 2019 out of Hillsborough, a draft action for aggravated assault with a weapon, 2018 out of Pasco, withhold petty theft, 2018 out of Hillsborough. An action was dismissed for false name to law enforcement, 2017 out of Hillsborough. Adjudication battery, 2017 out of Hillsborough. Adjudication disorderly conduct, brawling, 2015 out of Pasco. Adjudication resisting without violence, 2015 out of Pasco. Withhold petty theft, 2015 out of Pasco. And there is extensive juvenile history, which involves a lot of battery as well.
Okay. And Judge, if I could real briefly, I would dispute the probable cause on 1 count. One is a nurse, no question that she is a medical care provider. The other was a secretary. And I'm not sure that a secretary qualifies as a medical care provider.
Okay.
Certainly, I think there's probable cause for 1 count.
Okay. I'm still going to find it for both. I mean, she was working in the emergency room. Amon, where do you live? I don't have an address for you.
The Oak Motel.
Okay. How long have you been there?
For 2 weeks.
All right. You have a job these days?
I received disability.
Okay. Did we get appointed? Yes. I'm going to leave your bond per the schedule, which is $5,000 on each count. Condition is that you have no contact with either of those folks in the emergency room. You'll be back in court on the 11th of March. If you're able to bond out, you should contact the PD right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you before court. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jonathan Montanez.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Jonathan, what's your date of birth?
2/11/89, sir.
Jonathan, you are here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
At this point, I can only afford a public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the public defender. Bond on that warrant, Jonathan, is no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to send you back to see Judge Toner on March 11th. The public defender will come see you before you go to court, all right?
Yes, sir. May I ask one question, sir?
Sure.
What was that violation for? I apologize.
That's right. There's a condition 15, because apparently it was community control and failing to remain at your approved residence. There's a condition 2, which is about money. Special condition, which is also about money. And another special condition, which is about performing community service. So then that's what it's for, and you can discuss those things with the PD, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Michael Price. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
4/23/72, sir.
Michael, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for 8 counts of violation of an injunction. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, would you like the public defender?
Private counsel, sir.
Very good. State, what do you got?
Not showing any, in-state, showing he had a violation of an injunction, adjudication withheld on 10/31/2019 here in Hernando. He has some out-of-state history. I'm showing a conviction in 1998 for domestic violence. I'm showing an action was withheld in 1999, and it says murder next to it. I did try and look into that because obviously it was not clear, but that's what it says, and I wasn't able to find anything out of the state of Ohio. And an action in 1992 for 3 counts of fraudulent check, no disposition.
Okay. And Michael, I have an address for you on Chambert Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir. I wasn't able to hear anything that she said. Are these something new? I saw you, sir, 6 months ago on these charges and pled no contest and paid $1,000.
This is brand new.
Is this something
This is brand new.
from,
This case
I have
is...
not seen.
Okay. Some other judge read the information and signed the warrant. My job here is to tell you there's a warrant. You and I are not talking about the facts today, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay. So there's 8 counts. I'm going to set the bond at $200 on each count for a total of $1,000, or $1,600, excuse me. You'll be back in court on these on the 6th of March. Very important that you contact your lawyer and tell him about that court date, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Why don't you grab that chair? As I said, I'm going to deny on you. He's got some questions for you. Just routine.